Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jackie if you're new here. So I'm gonna need you guys to pull up a chair real quick, get yourself some snacks, let's get comfortable, some stretchy pants, some nice fuzzy socks perhaps, get yourself a nice glass of wine, some coffee if it's that time of day for you. But this video is finally a recap, in-depth review of my Thailand getaway with EF Ultimate Break. I know it's been 6 months in the making. I've been back for 6 months. This trip was 6 months ago, but mind your business. Better late than never. So yeah, let's get into it. My shadow is freaking funny. I look like a cone head. Okay, first and foremost, I would just like to say that I try to keep these videos as short as possible, but I like to include every single bit of information that I think you should know about, and I know that my past couple reviews have been close to an hour, so I make no promises, but I'm gonna say what I need to say. So when I started editing, I realized that my video was way over an hour. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna split it up into two. This is part one. Hope you enjoy. I'm so sorry. Anyways, back to the video. And I am prepared and I made lots of notes about the trip and everything that I wanna say. So buckle up because it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a great one. Okay, one more thing before I get into the recap video. I did want to say that I am an ambassador with EF Ultimate Break, and I have been since my very first trip. I fell in love and I was like, I want to promote this company because I'm so passionate about it. But with that being said, that does not mean that I'm not going to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If you've watched my other recap videos, you know that I give you the good, the bad, the ugly. I am not gonna lie to you to get you to purchase a trip. That is not me. I'm not gonna mislead you, because when I do my research before trips, I want to know the truth. Like, I don't want sugar-coated things. So that's just not me. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. If you do want to book a trip, I do have a link that you can use. I'll put it down in the description that you can use for your first trip with EF Ultimate Break, and it'll get you $100 off the price. And that will be on top of sale prices. Like, it's an additional $100 off your first trip. And yeah, so take advantage of that if you're watching this video before booking your first trip. But again, I'm not gonna lie to you, so just throwing that out there. Okay, so now let's get into the actual video. I will say I will be looking down at my iPad or have it in frame. I'm not looking at the floor. I'm looking at my notes, just trying to stay organized. But the first topic will be flights. If you watched my Spain recap video, you know that that was the biggest complaint I had with that trip. It was the biggest headache. There were so many issues with those flights. Our flights were canceled, our friends got separated, and our layovers were super short. So that made me super nervous for this Thailand trip, and I was just like, I'm gonna hope for the best, but expect the worst, blah, blah, blah. Luckily, I had zero issues. Everything went smoothly. So the trip on the EF website was listed as starting on September 1st. The September 1st was supposed to be your travel day. When I got my flight information 30 days out from the trip, I saw that my travel day started on August 31st. Probably because I'm coming from the West Coast, I fly out of LAX. So yeah, my flight was on August 31st at 11:30 p.m. and it was from LAX to ICN, so South Korea, which if you look that up on Google, it's supposed to be like a 13-hour flight. I will say flight time was closer to 12-ish. I got to the airport, everything went smoothly. I will say my flight ended up being delayed about an hour. I don't remember what the issue was, but it was delayed about an hour, but we made it up while we were in the air, which I don't know how they do that. Maybe they put it in a turbo or something, but we weren't delayed when we actually got to South Korea. The flight itself went smoothly. Since it was overnight, as I said, we left at like 12:30, so like midnight. I slept 9 out of those 12 hours that we were in the air, and I did wake up for all the meals though, because one thing about me is I'm gonna eat. So I don't remember exactly what the food was, but I can tell you that it was really good. Every single meal we had was really good. I will say that one of the breakfast selections was rice pudding or something like that. I wasn't the hugest fan, but the sides were bomb. So like, I was never super disappointed. Also, I heard that you can ask for ramen if you miss a meal, or like if you just want a snack. I didn't do it, but that's what I've seen on TikTok. So if you want to try it and let me know. I had a window seat because I selected my seats before. I went on the trip. So as soon as I got my flight information, I logged into Korean Air and I selected my seats, all window seats because I'm a window seat girly. So I had the window seat and I had a couple sitting next to me, and they were super nice and that was cool. I landed in South Korea around 4:20 a.m. So the airport was really quiet when we got there. And my next, hold up. Sorry, my dad was calling. I don't remember where I was. I think I had just said that I had landed in South Korea at 4:20 a.m. and the airport was, the airport was super quiet, and my next flight to Bangkok was not till 9:30. So that is a kind of sizable layover that some people would be upset about, but I did not care at all. I got some Starbies. I was sitting, chilling, reading. Also, that is where I met with a couple other people that were on my trip that I hadn't met before. They had flown from San Francisco and they had a layover in South Korea as well, and then we were on the same flight to Bangkok. So we did meet up. We texted in the group chat and we were like, hey, is anyone here? So I met up with them, got to know them a little bit before the trip, which was nice. And then the layover like went by super quick. It didn't feel like 4 or 5 hour long. So yeah. And then I had a flight at 9:30 a.m. from South Korea to Bangkok. That one, if you look on Google, says it's a 6-hour flight. I remember it being closer to a 5-hour flight. And I slept most of the time. Again, had a window seat. Again, there was food. I don't remember how many meals, but I just remember being fed at all times on these flights. I will say that this flight got really warm. It's these planes. I don't remember if my first one also was like this, but this plane from South Korea to Bangkok, again, was through Korean Air, but there was not like the individual air vents above your seat. It was like one air vent for like your whole row type thing. I don't know. It wasn't like the individual ones that you can control yourself. So I was getting real hot, and if you know me, you know that I get motion sick super easy, and so I was just getting warm. As we were descending, I was getting just like motion sick and like anxious and like just wanted to get off. So that wasn't fun. I just kept closing my eyes and reminding myself that we were almost there, like it was fine. So I got through it, but we ended up landing in Bangkok around 1:15 p.m. on September 2nd. We were the first group to arrive. We picked up our luggage at baggage claim. Some people were using the ATMs to get money. I already had my bot. I exchange it through my bank at home before I go on trips. I do this for every trip. I always get my currency before I leave. I just feel like it's easier and I don't have to stress about finding an ATM or an exchange center and the conversion rates and whatnot. Like, it's just easier to do it than my bank. So I already had all that, but some people that I had landed with went to do that exchange real quick. And then we met our tour director outside of the baggage claim area, so like outside the gate, and he had a sign that said eat at ultimate break. He also sent pictures in the group chat of where we could find him, so it wasn't like hard to find him. There were 6 of us in the first transfer, so we didn't have like a huge bus, but we had a small private bus that took us to the hotel. Our tour director was with us, and I will say, as soon as you walk out of the airport, like outside of the doors to the airport, the humidity hits you like a freaking truck. So all of us were like and in the bus we were like sweating and moving the vents so that it'll hit us. It was the first like initial shock of like, oh, this is what we're in for, right? But after a while you get used to it and it's not as bad. But that first initial walk out into Thailand is wild, let me tell you. Oh, I will say also, if you're going through Korean Air and you're checking a bag, you will be able to track your bag through the Korean Air app. So that was super nice. If you know me, you know that I have an AirTag in my luggage, and it wasn't refreshing for some reason. And so when I was in South Korea, it was telling me that it was still in LA, and I was freaking out. I was like, dang it, my bags didn't make it. But then I checked the Korean Air app and I was able to see that it got deplaned from my first flight and it got boarded onto my second flight, and everything was fine and dandy. So that was really good to have a nice peace of mind. But those were my flights to Bangkok, and on the way home I had the same flight path, and I'll talk about that a little later. I won't go into the return flights because I'll just talk about that when I'm talking about the breakdown of the itinerary. But the biggest thing to note is that my way there went smoothly, in stark contrast to my Spain trip that was a hot mess. Next, let's talk about the domestic flights. So my flights from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, from Chiang Mai to Phuket, Phuket to Bangkok again. So the ones within Thailand. These went smoothly too. There's a meal on every single flight, no matter how short it is. I will say that those meals I did not like as much as my Korean Air ones. I don't remember what the airlines were, but yeah, I was not a big fan of those meals, but I still ate them because one thing about me is I'm gonna eat. So those went well. Most of us use them to catch up on sleep. These trips, if you've gone on an EF trip before, are very go, go, go. So you take any chance you get to sleep. A big tip that I will give you is to pay close attention to the baggage allowances on the domestic flights because they're different than the international flights. So, for example, the Korean Air allowance from LA to South Korea and South Korea to Bangkok was 50 pounds, obviously, for check-in baggage. And then on these domestic flights, it's less, which I'll go into a little later, but just keep that in mind. These domestic flights are kind of more strict on the baggage. Also more strict about your carry-ons too, which I will also get into. My biggest tip about these flights is, again, just to sleep, 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 sleep as much as you can. They went smoothly for me, and hopefully if you're going on this trip too, they go smoothly for you. Next, we'll talk about accommodations. This is everyone's favorite thing to know about these trips. So in Bangkok, I don't know if I'm gonna say this correctly, but I'll put the name right here just so you guys can read it yourself. But I think it said Asai Hotel, Chinatown, Bangkok. So I have no complaints about this hotel. It was super nice, super clean, smelled nice also. I don't know how to explain it, but it smelled nice. I will say it's within like a mall complex. So you had to take the elevator to the 4th floor in order to access the lobby. You had to take the elevator to the 4th floor in order to access the lobby, and the rooms were like above the 4th floor, obviously. And then if you took the elevator down to the 1st floor, you would have access to the mall, which had a whole bunch of restaurants, and there was a spa in there. There's like little stores, and then in the basement of that mall there was a 7-Eleven, which was so convenient. I loved having it just right there. Took many trips to that 7-Eleven. It was so nice to have that there. It did have a bar inside and a restaurant. I didn't eat at the restaurant, but I did look at the menu and it looked pretty good, looked reasonably priced. And then there was a breakfast buffet every morning. They had omelets, they had granola for your yogurt, and fruit, and cold cuts, and Thai food, and a whole bunch of options. Their juices were really good, like their fruit juices were delicious. So yeah, no complaints. And the location was great as well. It was like in the middle of Chinatown, so you can walk out the doors, and there was a ton of different spa options, lots of street food, lots of restaurants, and it was easy to get to like all the nightlife places. Short drive, tuk-tuk ride away, so that was great. God, my throat is so itchy, hold on. Also, I have a room tour of that hotel in my Thailand vlog, so if you want to take a look at what that looked like, go check out my vlog and it'll be right in there. So moving on to the next city, we went to Chiang Mai, and in Chiang Mai we stayed at Cross Vibe Chiang Mai Dsem Hotel. Again, not sure if I'm saying that right, but gonna put it here. This one was also nice. The pool area at this one was really nice, that you can also see in my vlog. They also had a bar. It was smaller than our first hotel, but there was still a bar. I didn't go to it, but it was there. They also had a breakfast buffet. This one had ramen for breakfast, like a ramen bar. You can make like your own ramen. There was also omelets. Again, all the regular breakfast stuff, bread, fruit, no complaints. I will say there was not a lot of free time in Chiang Mai, so I can't really speak to location. Like, I didn't really go to things that were surrounding the hotel. Didn't really have to use a Grab to go anywhere because we were always transported to things. So can't really speak to the location. My goodness, I don't know why my throat was so itchy, but I think I left off talking about the Chiang Mai hotel location. So yeah, I didn't really have a lot of free time in Chiang Mai, so I didn't really explore the surrounding area of the hotel very much. I don't really remember what was around there of interest or things to do, or like restaurants and that sort of thing. When we got picked up to go to like the night bazaar, or like the boxing match and stuff like that, it was never super far, so it must have been a good location. There must have been options of things to do in the area, but I didn't do them, so I can't really speak to that. I will say when we ordered a grab back from the bar club that we went to one night, it wasn't a far drive either. So yeah, not too far from things that we did is all I can say, because I didn't really do anything else besides the EF plan stuff. I didn't go out and venture out by myself, so can't really speak to any extra stuff. Now let's talk about Phuket. Oh man, those first 2 hotels were great, no complaints. They were clean, they were nice, the locations were good generally, but Phuket really let me down. We stayed at Travelodge Phuket Town, and the rooms were decent. I mean, no complaints really. I feel like it was smaller than the other 2. I don't have a room tour of this one, which I regret, but I just didn't get one. I will say the bathroom was freaking weird at this hotel. So you know a shower needs a shower curtain or a door to separate the shower from the rest of the bathroom so that you don't get everything wet? Well, this hotel didn't have that. So it was literally like an open floor concept of a bathroom. And so there was nothing separating your shower area to everything else in the bathroom, so everything got wet anytime you showered. So I had like the shower head aimed at the wall so I can like try to keep it away from everything else, but everything ended up getting wet anyway. I just thought that was so freaking weird. Like I had never seen anything like that before, but it is what it is. We had a shower and a toilet and a sink, and that is something to be grateful for. But yeah, it was just weird. The location was not great. That is what I hated the most about this location. I mean, this hotel. So there was a mall nearby. We can walk to it. It was like a 5-minute walk, and the mall was super big, super nice, had a lot of food options, lots of stores to like explore. There was probably a spa in there. I didn't really look. Across the street was also a 7-Eleven, so that was nice to have. It is kind of hard to cross that street. There's no crosswalk, and it's a busy street, and people will not stop for you. So yeah, keep that in mind and be careful when you're crossing that street. But yeah, besides the mall and 7-Eleven, there was like nothing else in the area, and everything that you wanted to go to, like let's say the beach or the Big Buddha or like all the nightlife, tattoo places, everything was so far from this hotel. Okay, correction, when you map things, they don't seem far. It'll say like 20-minute drive, but when you're actually there, the traffic makes it double that time is what we found, and that was really annoying. It was like a 45-minute drive to and from, and obviously everything in Thailand is cheap, so the grabs weren't bad. I can't complain that I was spending hundreds of dollars to go to explore these places, but it was just annoying to have to plan out that much time to get to and from these places. But I do kind of understand why they choose it. It's kind of like Phuket is an island, and this hotel was in the middle of everything. So the airport's over here, then it's our hotel, then it's all the nightlife and the beach and all that. So I kind of do understand why EF chose it. Logistically, it kind of makes sense, but it was just kind of annoying. The breakfast buffet at this hotel was also just meh. Like, not a lot of options compared to the other 2 hotels, but there was always something to eat, which is, I mean, can't complain. And then I will say we did eat at the restaurant for dinner one night when we were too lazy to like find somewhere else to go. And that food was so good. I don't remember what I ordered, but it was really good. So eat at that restaurant, I guess. And they did have a bar there available, and for a certain amount of time, I think it's like a happy hour type thing, they have like buy one get one drinks. So do that. I didn't get to take advantage of it, but do that if you want to, if you can. They also have a desk to book excursions from, so that's where we booked our PP Islands excursion private boat tour thing. You pay through them. They are the ones that coordinate everything. They have people pick you up and everything, so that was nice. And also for like excursions, for the canoeing excursion that we did and for the PP Islands thing we did, you can borrow towels from the front desk. They just write down what room number you are so that they can track if you returned it. But that was also nice. I had my own towel, so I didn't really need to do that, but people did take advantage of that, and I thought that was really nice. If you don't want to pack a towel, just have one from the front desk. That is it for accommodations. I don't, like I said, have a room tour of this Travelodge hotel, but the pool area was really nice. It was cute. They had like a cute swinging chair that you can take pictures at, and that was nice. They also have a gym that people went to. I did not, because I'm on vacation. I'm not going to work out on vacation, but it was there, so that was cool. But yeah, not my favorite of the 3. My favorite of the 3 was the Bangkok one, just location wise and food option wise and the rooms were nice and it smelled nice, and the bar had really good drinks, and it was just great. It was a great hotel. Chiang Mai's close behind that one. It was also nice. I just, like I said, didn't really venture around the area, so I don't really know if it was a great location per se. And lastly, Phuket, because I was just not a fan. I don't know, was not a fan. But it could be worse. It probably could be worse. So yeah, now we'll get into the nitty gritty and we'll break down the itinerary day by day so you guys get a better understanding of what exactly we do on the tour. That concludes part 1. Now go ahead and go watch part 2 for the actual day-to-day breakdown of the itinerary. Again, sorry I talk a lot and it's so long.